Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman420 with the Weedman420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there, Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal, but before we do, we got some exciting stuff going on in the show today. We're going to be talking about research, science, and health, some political news, international news, and then Mrs. Weedman's going to end it with some cannabis culture. Now, everybody, we're going to get normal with some chocolate blah given to me by the folks over at EarthMed McHenry. I stopped
Malawi.
in. Malawi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Malawi. Okay, it is Malawi. Okay, Malawi.
Chocolate
Given to me
Malawi.
by the kind folks over at EarthMed McHenry. I'd like to thank the staff and Veronica, the manager there, for throwing to the cause for this episode. We appreciate you. So chocolate Malawi is a slightly indica-dominant hybrid strain created through crossing the delicious chocolate hashberry and heirloom Malawi strains, a tasted bud with even more delicious high. Chocolate Malawi is one hybrid that you'll find yourself reaching for again and again. Like its name suggests, chocolate Malawi packs a super sweet and creamy chocolate coffee flavor. It does smell it. Pick up that, light that up, but before you light it, though, smell it. No? Oh man, it had coffee and chocolate flavors with hints of flowery herbs and fresh fruits. The aroma is very similar with an earthy herbal overtone, accented by spicy hash, freshly brewed black coffee, and spicy flowers. All Mrs.
I can smell chocolate.
All Mrs. Weedman's favorite stuff. Coffee, chocolate, spicy, fruity undertones. This is like Mrs. Weedman's she wants to eat it, not smoke it. So the chocolate Malawi high will settle and slowly beginning with warming waves in the brain before setting into the body. You'll feel a slow build of euphoria creep into your brain, gently easing away any negative moods or racing thoughts and replacing them with a sense of heady, happy bliss. A relaxing body high finishes everything out, soothing your entire body and helping you feel fully at ease without affecting your energy levels too much. With these effects, got a good THC level, average between 16 and 28%. The chocolate Malawi is often said to be perfect for treating a variety of conditions such as chronic stress, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, and mood swings. And I'd like to thank the folks over at EarthMed McHenry. I stopped in the other day to say hi and just to check out the store, and they were gracious enough to throw the Weedman chocolate Malawi. Mrs. Weedman, while I'm going to take that joint away from you, you're going to tell us a little bit about 8decades.com.
Yes. Head on over to 8decades.com. That is EIGHT, decades.com. And there you will find our cannabis lifestyle brand. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see everything on display here, but we created some really great pieces for your collection, and we'd love for you to stop by and shop our site. If it's your first time visiting our site, you will get free shipping if you sign up for our newsletter. And you'll also be able to read more about me and Mr. Weedman and why we are doing what we're doing here with the podcast and 8 Decades. And you can also get some great swag for the podcast. We've got great t-shirts and tote bags, hats, pins, stickers, all sorts of good things. So check us out, 8decades.com.
Yeah, and like we always say, if you support 8decades.com, we could pay our producer, Shadi. We love her. All right, Mr. Weedman.
Weedman.
Some funny shit. You and I, the last few weeks, been noticing these small little looking logs, tiny. Like
they look like a Tootsie Roll.
Yes, a little bit bigger. Like the bigger Tootsie Rolls. Maybe like. Yeah.
No, they're just like the fat Tootsie Rolls.
Yes. But you know how they have like the big long one that has 2 in there?
It's not like that.
No?
No.
Just a straight Tootsie Roll?
Just a regular fat Tootsie Roll.
Fat Tootsie Roll. We've been finding them around the
I know my candy size.
You do know your candy size. We've been finding them around the property, around the house, the driveway.
On the pavement.
Pavement, yes. And I'm like, I kicked one day and it just went into the grass. I'm like, Mrs. Weedman and I were outside on Sunday or Saturday. We were doing the lawn and I'm like, what are these fucking
poops?
Little things on the ground? Like what animal? This has got to be poop.
Mm-hmm.
And who's laying these poops? Too big for a chipmunk because we have tons of chipmunks. Too big for mouse poops and rat poops. Definitely not either one of those. Rabbit and deer poop are totally different. They're circles, little pellets, right? We have sandhill cranes on the property, and those like just splash bird poop. Same thing with turkeys are chunky. We've seen a lot of poop. We have coyote. They look like dog poop. We have cats walking around the property. All different types of birds. It is just there's possums.
This is one poop.
This is just
couldn't figure it out.
So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I said, let me take a picture of it and see what Google says. Right? It's a fucking frog poop.
We do have frogs on the property.
Have a shit ton of frogs. And I'm like, there's no way this is a frog poop. So I Googled it, and all of a sudden a frog pops up with the poop coming out of his butt. And I'm like,
it looks just like what's on our driveway.
Fucking frog poop. Looks like a little log, little fucking...
It's a big poop for a little guy. And so we have like a light that we put on over the driveway, like most people do at nighttime. And so there's this opportunist frog who comes up from the pond and hangs out in our driveway every night so he could eat the bugs by the light. I mean, he's pretty smart. Nobody else has figured it out. So he's the guy pooping all over.
He's eating a lot of bugs. Yeah. Now explain what you saw.
So then today I saw one and I'm like, oh, it's the poop. So I went and got one of Yuki's poop bags, and I went over to pick it up, and it literally just like disintegrated in my hand, and it was all beetle shells.
That frog's eating good.
Yeah, he's eating good.
Yeah,
he's getting all the bugs.
Real good. I mean, I'm not saying there's hundreds of them.
No.
But they're little landmines.
And they're unusual. Like, we've never seen.
I've seen frogs my whole life.
It's like this. We've had a lot of poop discussions now.
Very much poop discussions. Yeah. But frog poop is little. I mean, look it up. Type in frog poop, and you're going to be like, no fucking way. Yes. Way. Yes, way. There's frog poop. And it looks like
that.
A turd. Oh, man. Frog poop.
It's a dookie loaf.
Dookie loaf.
Dookie loaf.
My brother Bigfoot
Dookie loaf.
has created a song called Dookie Loaf.
Dookie loaf. Dookie loaf.
And a dance to go with it, too. Something crazy for the home team here in Chicago and Illinois. If you ever get bored, though, right, Mr. Weedman, here's something you can do if you want to break a world record, okay? I think you might be able to do it, all right?
Okay.
So I bet I might be able to beat this world record. So instead of laughing, everyone starts, let's put it this way. A 25-year-old Chicago man decided that normal walking wasn't challenging enough. Instead, he squeezed a balloon between his knees and sprinted 10 meters in an attempt to earn a Guinness World Record.
Oh.
Yep. Not basketball, not football. In his legs. A balloon.
A balloon.
Yes. Now, here's the crazy part. The previous record was 3.91 seconds, set by a Swedish TV host. This Chicago speedster clocked in an unofficial 3.5 seconds, beating the old mark by nearly half. That's moving faster than most people head to the fridge after realizing they forgot their munchies. So, Guinness Book of World Record has to make it official. They got to watch the footage. For now, he's living in that I think I got it stage kind of thing. So I was watching the video of this guy with the balloon. But you can't
drop it and you can't break it.
So,
right.
So your friends call. So say one of your friends called you, Mrs. Weedman, say, "Hey, what'd you do this weekend?"
Yeah.
I became the fastest balloon walker, runner, sprinter on Earth.
I think there's probably some world record that most people could surpass.
Maybe.
It's just a matter of taking the time to do it.
Do you think you can go 10 meters? How far is 10 meters?
I don't know.
You don't know? Let me see.
Far?
Yes.
No, it's probably like 10 meters?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How
is it like 80 feet?
Is 10 meters?
100 yards? 10 meters?
In feet. It's 32 feet.
That's all he did was run 32 feet.
With a balloon between his legs.
Come on, Guinness World Record for that. Don't you think they should have to run like a half mile or something?
You know how hard that would be to run a half mile?
32 feet?
That's the Guinness Book of World Record. That's why it was probably easy for this person to do.
He's like, let me find the easiest thing.
But he destroyed the record, though, at 3.5 seconds, though.
Wow.
I mean,
good job.
32 feet with a balloon in your legs, and you have to run. So basically, you're just running like on your like you can't move your upper legs because the balloon will fall out. So basically, you're moving just your knee down to your feet.
Right.
That's not easy. You're just like,
I'll be right back. I gotta try some.
You're gonna. Mrs. Weedman. Mrs. Weedman. But now do it with a balloon.
Well, right. I was trying to envision
Right.
that.
So it's hard, right?
Yeah.
Not moving your upper legs.
Yeah, but 32 feet is still bullshit. Sorry, guy. 100 yards or something, 50 yards.
Well,
25 yards.
32 feet?
32 feet.
Was the Guinness Book of World Record. He beat it. 10 meters. Terrible. I should have known what 10 meters was, 32 feet.
Yeah,
but,
we're pretty bad.
We are pretty bad. Sorry, everybody. So remember this, folks out there. Dreams come in all shapes and sizes, right, Mr. Weedman? Sometimes they're just balloon shaped, though. Right?
That's
now,
right.
Mrs. Weedman's going to go to the track and practice and try to beat the Guinness Book of World Record.
A map to search your mind, the galaxies you'll find. The Mind
Search the Mind Atlas on your bookstore for your public domain anthology and build the end of scarcity.
I'll find something. I've thought about this before. Every time I hear of like an kind of off the wall Guinness World Record that's been broken, it's like, I got to pick up one of those books sometime. Or just, they probably have a website.
Probably.
Just visit it. Find something.
Make you famous.
Like the most candy eaten in one day.
Oh, ugh, that's gross. Yeah,
I don't want to do an eating contest.
No,
That'd be gross.
No.
But then maybe I'd never want to eat candy again.
Yeah, but you love candy.
Yeah, I'm back to eating candy.
Mrs. Weedman
I fell off the wagon.
Mrs. Weedman took a year, right?
I
About
found
a year.
that this girl creeped into my freaking social media feed. Didn't even ask for her to be there. And she chomps on candy and makes it look like it's the best thing she's ever eaten. So I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
And guess what?
Back to eating candy.
Back in eating candy again. What's been the one candy that you've really enjoyed having again? Besides, what's the one you like, the black licorice one?
Oh my God, Good and Plenty.
Oh my God, you've eaten like 32 boxes since Christmas. Yes, don't even deny it.
Not that many.
32.
No, like if there's one box a week.
And it's been how many weeks since
halfway
Christmas?
through the year.
And then, but that's been your go-to candy. Because when you started eating candy again, you were only eating good and plenty.
I know, and you're like totally,
you're
when you take
justifying
medications,
it. You're justifying black licorice is good for you.
Yeah.
The hard candy shell doesn't have food coloring or dyes in it.
Yeah, it does. It's total bullshit.
And then you went into what? What was
then it was, okay, I just had that. The excuse was I ate that first box because it was a gift.
Right.
What's the big deal? It's the holidays. Indulge.
Just when you thought you were out.
And then I was like, good, I'm going to step out.
In.
Yeah. And then it was, I'll get a bag of healthy candy. And then it was, I'll get another box of Good and Plenty. And I'll get another box of Good and Plenty. And then it was like, I can just try it. Like, what difference does it make now? I'll eat some other candy.
Oh, you've been eating candy.
I've been eating
Mrs. Weedman, like a couple of days before 4th of July, we got a bag. We got a bag of, and I don't eat a lot of candy. I do here and there, but I like fruit snacks better than candy. And so Mrs. Weedman bought some taffy, saltwater taffy from the grocery.
It's so good.
Red, white, and blue. Blueberry, cherry, vanilla. And you've gone through
Sweets brand.
You've gone through a lot, though.
Superior, like it is good saltwater candy.
You've gone through a
Taffy.
lot. How much have you said you've gone through that bag?
Well, I poured the bag out into a glass jar, candy jar with a lid, because it looked pretty for the 4th of July. Threw some Italian, like sour lemon hard candies in there, like cute little summer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a dip here and a dip there and a dip there. And then then I find myself like sneaking, like trying to take the lid off really quietly. And then, of course, I drop it, right?
And you did drop it the other day.
Because I'm trying to sneak candy.
That's what you were trying to do? Uh-huh. You were trying to I'm in the fucking house and we don't give a fuck. You know what candy you want.
It's just my own problem.
I heard it too because I was doing something. I'm like, she just drops it. And I heard you go, oh shit, or oh damn it. It didn't break though, the top. That's nice. So that's what you were doing. You were sneaking.
After I probably was in the cabinet eating lemon heads or bottle caps.
I'm fucking dying right now. You were literally sneaking candy out of the candy jar.
And maybe a piece of chocolate.
Oh my God. I'm fucking sweating.
I got a problem. I apparently have a guilty conscience about it.
Oh my God, I gotta get the show started or else I'm not gonna make it my heart attack. I'm coming for you, Edith. Old Sanford and Son reference there. If you don't know if you're a little younger, watch Sanford and Son. It was amazing. Red Fox, one of the best comedians of all time. Oh, so good. So, my cheeks are hurting. Oh, my flush.
I'm sorry.
Now. Let me cool off a little bit before we get started. All right, ready to get the show started?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Legalizing marijuana reduces personal bankruptcy rates as arrests decline. The study shows, and the source was Marijuana Moment, reporting on a new study published in Finance Research Letters. So, all right, everyone. This research isn't about THC, terpenes, or the latest strain. It's about your wallet. Researchers wanted to know whether legalizing recreational cannabis affects people's financial lives. Surprisingly, the answer appears to be yes. The study looked at data from every U.S. state between 2001 and 2024 and found that states with legal recreational cannabis experienced lower, everybody ready? Lower personal bankruptcy rates after legalization. On average, researchers estimated about 38 fewer bankruptcy filings per 100,000 people each year, which works out to roughly a 12% decrease compared to before legalization. Do you want to know why? This is just a little bit. Because you just go buy weed and you stay home and you chill out. And you sneak candy out of the candy dish and drop the dish like Mrs. Weedman did. Now, before anyone says, see, weed makes you rich. That's not what the study is saying. The researchers aren't claiming cannabis magically pays your bills or turns everyone into a financial gurus. Instead, they point to something much practical. When cannabis becomes legal, arrests for simple possessions drop dramatically. In fact, the study found marijuana arrests fell by an average of 87% in legalized states. Fewer arrests mean fewer fines, fewer attorney fees, fewer court costs, and fewer people dealing with long-term employment problems that can come from having a criminal record. Those are expensive financial hits that can push families already living paycheck to paycheck over the edge. Think about it like this. Imagine your car breaks down, your rent is due, and then you suddenly have to pay thousands of dollars in legal expenses because you got caught with a little cannabis. For many people, that's enough to start a financial domino effect that ends in bankruptcy. Legalization removes a lot of those costs for adults who are following state law. Another interesting finding was that the biggest financial improvements showed up in states that already had relatively strong economies, places with lower unemployment, higher household incomes. Researchers think legalization helps everywhere, but communities with more economic stability may be in a better position to take advantage of those savings. So what does this mean for all of us? It reminds us that cannabis policy isn't just about whether people can legally light up. It also affects jobs, court systems, family finances, and economic opportunity. Every arrest that avoided can mean one less family facing legal bills, lost wages, or damaged career. Of course, this is one study and it doesn't prove legalization alone fixes financial hardships. Bankruptcy happens for many reasons. Medical bills, housing costs, job loss, debt all play major roles. But this research adds another piece to the conversation by suggesting that ending cannabis prohibition may reduce one source of financial stress for many Americans. So next time someone says cannabis legalization is only about getting high, you could tell them the conversation is much, much bigger than that. Sometimes the biggest benefit isn't what's in the jar, it's what stays in your bank account. Now that's some food for thought, everybody, and maybe enough left over to go grab yourself a pizza. Pretty good. That's good. Cannabis, another win.
Another win.
Yay, cannabis. Ms. Weedman, tell us why medical marijuana is effective in providing relief to patients with restless leg syndrome, this study shows.
Yes. And I will tell you, as someone who has never been diagnosed with it, because I don't even bother telling doctors about it, but I've dealt with this before there was a name for it. Me and my mom oh my God, as a kid, just being at home when I'd be tired at night and my legs were twitching or like if you had shoes on and you couldn't wait to take the shoes off because for me, it was like I couldn't get enough pressure on the arch of my foot to stop my legs from feeling like, like literally I would always say, I want to take my arms and legs off at night and just put my torso to bed.
What if you have an itch on your butt and you took your arms off?
It didn't.
What would you do?
It's just such like this sensation of shush, Mr. Weedman. Mr. Weedman. Well, anyway, now that there's a name for this condition and there's medications and things I believe that you can take for it. But this is interesting about cannabis and maybe another reason why cannabis is so helpful for me for going to bed. Because if I'm sitting on the couch, my body tells me when I need to go to bed because I'll start I can't sit still. I'm fidgeting my legs.
Yeah, but sometimes you wait about an hour before you actually really should.
I think I can get through it. I can push through. No, it's like you just have to go to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought this was a really interesting study because it looks at this condition that doesn't get talked about much, restless leg syndrome, or RLS. It's a neurological disorder that creates an overwhelming urge to move your legs, especially at night, making it incredibly difficult for people to sit still, fall asleep, or stay asleep. Researchers found 18 patients with treatment-resistant RLS who used a balanced THC CBD cannabis extract over 3 months. The results were encouraging. About 1/3 of the participants experienced at least a 50% reduction in their RLS symptoms, and many reported meaningful improvements in their sleep quality. One of the biggest findings was that participants spent significantly less time awake after initially falling asleep, even though the total amount of sleep they got didn't change much. The treatment was generally well tolerated, with no serious adverse effects reported. Researchers say these early results suggest cannabis-based medicine could be another option for patients whose symptoms don't respond to conventional medications. However, they also stress that this was a small pilot study, so much larger clinical trials are still needed before cannabis can be considered as a standard treatment. To me, this is another example of where cannabis research is starting to catch up with what many patients experience. It's not proof that cannabis works for everyone with restless leg syndrome, but it's another piece of evidence suggesting that cannabinoids may have real therapeutic potential for improving both symptoms and sleep.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Cannabis use in older adults not linked to faster cognitive decline or dementia source. Side post reporting on a study published in the BMJ Mental Health. This one is for all the seasoned smokers out there who have heard someone say, if you keep smoking, you're going to forget your name. Well, new research suggests the story may be a little more complicated than that. Researchers from the University of Oxford and other institutions wanted to answer a question that's becoming more important every year. Does cannabis use speed up cognitive decline or increase the risk of dementia as people age? To find out, they looked at data for thousands of older adults and combined traditional observational research with something called Mendelian randomization. It sounds like a spell from Harry Potter with the wand, but it's actually a genetic research method that helps scientists separate correlation from causation. In other words, it gives researchers a strong way to ask, did cannabis actually cause this? Instead of noticing two things happen altogether. It's basically like the wand. What is it? Wingardium Levioso or Leviosa. The results were pretty interesting. The researchers found no evidence that prior to occasional cannabis use was associated with faster cognitive decline or higher risk of developing dementia. They also found no evidence that people with poor cognitive function were simply more likely to use cannabis, helping rule out the idea that the relationship works in reverse. Now let's pump the brakes a little bit before anyone lights up and declares cannabis a brain vitamin. The study doesn't say cannabis prevents dementia, and it doesn't prove that heavy, long-term, high-potency cannabis use is completely harmless. The researchers were carefully to point out that they need more studies looking at dosage, frequency, product type, and longer follow-up periods. Those details matter because not everyone consumes cannabis the same way. What this study that really does is challenge a belief that's been repeated for decades. That simply using cannabis means you're destined for rapid memory loss as you get older. Instead, the evidence suggests that occasionally or previous cannabis use by older adults doesn't appear to substantially affect normal cognitive aging. That's an important distinction because aging itself brings changes in memory and thinking, and scientists want to know what comes from aging versus what comes from lifestyle choices. So what does this mean for everybody? If you're an older adult who uses cannabis responsibly, the research may offer some reassurance that your occasional use or moderation use isn't automatically putting you on the fast track to dementia, but it also reinforces something we've talked about before. Moderation matters, right, Mrs. Weedman?
Always.
Always. Everyone's body is different, and cannabis should never replace conversation with your healthcare provider, especially if you have other medical conditions or take prescription medications. The biggest takeaway is that cannabis research is becoming more sophisticated. Instead of relying on outdated assumptions, scientists are using larger data sets, better research methods to answer questions that millions of people have been thinking or asking for years. So the next time someone says, smoking weed is going to make you lose your mind, you can tell them that the latest research says it's not that simple. Science keeps evolving, and that's why we keep on following it. Take care of your brain, keep learning new things, and remember the best thing to forget is where you hid the snacks, not where you parked the car.
So true.
Ms. Weedman,
yeah.
Tell us how there's now multi-generational cannabis households. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
This is like a real, mellow you out.
Oh, it said it's going to mellow you out a little bit. But you'll still be able to function
like a turd.
Oh yeah, I'm very slow motion. It's a very nice high. Yeah. It's very smooth. Tasted very well. It's very nice. If you can find chocolate Malawi, I suggest you try it. It's very good. Nice. And I know they had it at Earth Med McHenry because that's where they gave it to me from.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of history repeating itself. We're starting to see more multi-generational households. So the old 2-flat, 3-flat, where grandma, mom and dad, and one of the married kids is living in the basement, or it's in one house now. You're just seeing grandma's moving in with mom and dad or whatever. There's multi-generations. It's a thing. And when we see economies not as strong, we tend to see more multi-generational housing. So here is an interesting thing. We've got legalized cannabis. Now you've got multiple generations, and you've got weed. And how do you handle that, right? How do you handle that under one roof?
Tell me, Ms. Weedman.
This article isn't really about cannabis itself. It's about the conversations that come with it as more multi-generational families are living under one roof. With rising housing costs, inflation, and student debt, multi-generational households have become much more common. And that means people with very different views on cannabis are sharing the same space. One point I found interesting is how each generation tends to use cannabis differently. Many Gen Z consumers see it as a social alternative to alcohol or a way to unwind after work or school. Baby boomers are more commonly using it for chronic pain, arthritis, inflammation, and sleep issues, while Gen X often falls somewhere in the middle, using it for both wellness and recreation. The article emphasizes that respect and communication go a long way. It recommends setting household expectations just like you would with alcohol, deciding where cannabis can be consumed, keeping products securely stored, especially edibles, and being mindful of odors if other family members don't enjoy the smell. It also reminds consumers not to pressure others to use cannabis and to remember that today's legal products are often much more potent than what many older adults experienced decades ago. To me, this is just another sign of how normalized cannabis has become. The conversation isn't just about legalization anymore. It's about learning how to live together respectfully when different generations have different experiences and expectations surrounding the plant. Hey, Ma, you want to go smoke a J with me?
Yeah. I mean, I lived in, a house where my dad smoked. We lived in when we
You were living multi-generational.
Oh yeah, we had my aunt in one part, My grandma and grandfather, and we lived in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad smoked. My aunt smoked. My grandpa didn't smoke, but they didn't care because they smelled the go. I mean, it was the 70s and 80s. So, right. I mean, everyone was smoking weed back then in our neighborhood anyway. And so we lived in a three flat kind of house, wherever we lived until we moved to Florida. But yeah, that's how in the Bronx, New York, there was a lot of multi-generational families. You had the grandparents owned the home and then one of the kids stayed, or they had, my great grandmother was like that. Apartment downstairs, her house, and then a house upstairs, and then one of her kids, same thing. Boom, boom, boom. Three flats. It was crazy, but that's how we lived. It's a good way
to live.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Everyone shared the mortgage and payments and stuff.
The mortgage.
Yeah, everything was cheaper.
Yeah, support each other, share meals.
Yeah, it was great. Parties were great too. Political, state, and business news. A growing number of leaders from both the hemp and marijuana industries are calling for a unified federal regulatory framework instead of competing against each other. They argue that consistent safety standards, consumer protections, and fair rules would support farmers, businesses, and public health while eliminating confusion in the marketplace. Turns out the best strain might be cooperation. Maryland is finally seeing more social equity cannabis dispensaries open the doors after delays slowed the rollout following adult use legalization. State officials say the new businesses are helping fulfill promises to create opportunities for communities most affected by the past cannabis enforcement while expanding access for consumers. Pennsylvania's latest efforts to legalize adult use cannabis appears stalled once again after lawmakers failed to reach an agreement before a legislative decline. While supporters remain optimistic, legalization is likely postponed until a future session, leaving neighboring states to continue collecting cannabis tax revenue. More New Jersey cannabis consumers are choosing live rosin over traditional concentrates after demand grows for solventless products. Produced using only ice water, heat, and pressure, live rosin is gaining popularity among consumers looking for cleaner extraction methods and fuller terpene profiles. Sometimes the cleanest dab leaves the biggest impression, which we smoked on the show last one. Yeah. Well, we've been smoking that all week. Thank you, Wolfman. California's top cannabis regulators say local bans on legal cultivation continues fueling the illicit market. State data shows nearly any and all illegal grow busts occur in counties that prohibit licensed cultivations. Suggested limited legal access creates more opportunities for unlicensed operations to thrive. Nature heats up a vacuum, and apparently so does the black market. Federal investigation arrests workers at a Seminole area cannabis operation after alleging illegal pesticide smuggling and unsafe chemical use. Authorities say the investigation focused on banned agricultural products that may pose health and environmental risk, highlighting ongoing enforcement efforts aimed at protecting consumers and legal operators. Idaho proposed medical cannabis initiative failed to gather enough verified signatures to qualify for the November ballot. Come on, Idaho. New York's health officials released a public safety guide after emergency room visits linked to cannabis increased, particularly among accidental edible exposures and overconsumption. Officials encourage consumers to start with low doses, store products securely, and read labels before consuming. Remember, you can always eat more, but you can't uneat that gummy. South Carolina's veterans and advocates continue urging lawmakers to seriously consider medical cannabis legislation, arguing veterans deserve additional treatment options for chronic pain, PTSD, and other services-related conditions. Supporters say the conversation is focused on healthcare choices rather than political divisions. Our veterans fought for us. Now they're asking to be heard. Damn right they are. Congressional researchers outlined several options lawmakers could consider after a recent Supreme Court ruling raised new questions about the federal firearm prohibition for marijuana users. Possible approaches range from maintaining current law to revising how cannabis use is treated under federal regulations. The publisher of High Times has launched the Josh Kelsman Foundation with a $2.2 million endowment to support charitable causes focused on community improvement, education, and social impact. The initiative reflects the growing trend of cannabis industry leaders investing back into the communities that serve. Now, that's putting some green back where it belongs. Passing that joint over to you, Mrs. Weedman.
Yeah, I've got some more political, state, and business news, starting with California, where they continue battling a massive illegal cannabis market despite years of legalization. Experts say high taxes, strict regulations, and local bans on licensed businesses have allowed unlicensed operators to keep thriving, making it harder for legal companies to compete and consumers to know exactly what they're buying. A Republican U.S. senator says hemp-derived THC products could become one of the rare issues that brings lawmakers from both parties together. Rather than banning the products outright, supporters are discussing regulations focused on age limits, product testing, labeling, and consumer safety. Hey, how about that? Some common sense discussions are happening. Let's hope they work. Florida, the hemp businesses are saying uncertainty over a proposed federal hemp ban is already affecting sales, investments, and hiring decisions. Many owners worry the lack of clear rules is making it difficult to plan for the future, even before Congress makes a final decision. An Alabama dog is back home after rescuers completed a mountain recovery when the pup became disoriented after apparently ingesting cannabis. Thankfully, the dog recovered, but the incident serves as another reminder that cannabis products should always be stored safely away from your curious pets. Georgia's new medical cannabis law removes several barriers for registered patients, making it easier to qualify and gain access to treatment. Supporters say the changes should help more residents receive physician-approved cannabis products without navigating as many unnecessary hurdles. After all, healthcare should help people feel better, not make them jump through hoops. Senate Democrats introduced new legislation that would completely remove marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Whoop, whoop. The proposal goes further than rescheduling by ending federal prohibition altogether. Amazing. Of course, it still faces significant hurdles before becoming a law, but boy, would that be amazing. That's what we all want. Anti-cannabis organizations are asking a federal court to prevent marijuana companies from joining the legal fight over federal rescheduling. They argue businesses shouldn't participate in defending the process, while industry groups say they deserve a voice in the decision that directly affects them. What do you think? Patients, consumers, or business owners? Who should they listen to? I say a little bit from all of them. Investigators report that some Chinese immigrants were trafficked into working on illegal cannabis farms in New Mexico under exploitative conditions. Authorities say the case highlights ongoing concerns about human trafficking and labor abuse tied to part of the illicit cannabis market. Free the plant. Another reason if they legalize it, there won't be a black market, right? Well, it'll struggle.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we wouldn't have to worry about trafficking people to grow weed. The Texas Hemp Business Council is urging lawmakers. I know it's not that simple, but the Texas Hemp Business Council is urging lawmakers to regulate THC hemp products instead of banning them outright. Industry leaders say sensible rules, testing requirements, and age restrictions would better protect consumers while allowing responsible businesses to continue operating. A Boston licensing board ruled that a downtown bar may post signs asking customers not to smoke cannabis outside its entrance after neighboring businesses raised concerns. The decision aims to reduce complaints while balancing the rights of legal cannabis consumers. That's it for my news, Mr. Weedman. It's back over to you.
Thanks, Ms. Weedman. Delaware officials approved updates to the state's adult use cannabis law, providing clearer licensing rules, regulatory oversight, and a guidance for businesses preparing to enter the legal market. State leaders say the changes will help create a more organized rollout while giving entrepreneurs and consumers greater confidence in the system. A good map makes for a much smoother trip. Nashville police say a teenager led officers on a chase reaching nearly 100 miles per hour before allegedly tossing bags of marijuana onto rooftops along the route. Officers later recovered the discarded cannabis and arrested a suspect without serious injuries being reported. Pro tip, rooftops are for Santa, not stash spots, Mrs. Weedman. The federal marijuana rescheduling hearing has officially wrapped up, and the DA administrative law judge outlined the next procedural steps before issuing a recommendation. The process isn't finished yet, but it's another milestone in a long-running effort to reconsider cannabis under federal law. The wheels are still turning, just at government speed. The U.S. military is reminding service members that even if marijuana is federally rescheduled, cannabis use will remain prohibited under military policy. Officials say readiness, discipline, and existing Department of Defense regulations will continue to govern service members regardless of broader federal changes. Delaware's updated cannabis regulations also provide additional clarity for licensing's timeline, compliance, expectation, agency responsibilities as the state prepares its adult use market. Officials believe the refinements will reduce confusion and help businesses navigate a legal landscape more efficiency. Building the foundation first usually keeps the roof from falling in. I've said that many a times, haven't I, Ms. Weedman?
Mm-hmm.
Some veteran advocates are raising concerns that checking a cannabis use box on certain VA dental forms could become a part of patients' medical records without them fully understanding how the information may be used. They say clear communications and transparencies are essential for maintaining trust. A pharmaceutical company and representative from a drug testing industry argues that moving marijuana to a lower federal schedule could lead to increased cannabis misuse. Supporters of rescheduling disagree, saying scientific evidence and regulations should guide policy rather than speculations. 100%. Several states are considering proposals that would allow first responders to access cannabis or psychedelic-assisted therapies for PTSD and other jobs-related mental health conditions. Supporters say those who spend their careers protecting others deserve access to very effective treatment options available. Arkansas's Republican governor and the leading Democratic challenger agree on at least one issue. Both oppose legalizing recreational marijuana. Boo. Despite their shared position, advocates say public support for broader cannabis reform continues to grow across the state. Medical experts continue reminding consumers that cannabis isn't a cure-all, but growing research suggests it may offer relief for certain conditions when used responsibly and under medical guidance. As legalization expands, physicians are encouraging patients to have honest conversations before beginning cannabis therapy. Alabama officials will hold a public hearing to consider whether the state marijuana classifications should be updated if federal rescheduling moves forward. Decisions could shape how Alabama aligns its laws with future federal cannabis policy changes. California lawmakers continue debating cannabis policy changes as regulators balance public safety, legal business growth, and efforts to reduce the illicit market. Industry leaders say consistent rules and enforcement remains critical to helping licensed operators compete while giving consumers confidence in legal products. Growing a legal market takes more than sunshine. It takes a smart policy. And that's political, state, and business news, everybody. Now, Mrs. Weedman's going to read from one of my favorite journalists, Reginald Reefer, an open letter to prohibitionists from an old school stoner.
Yep. I'm just giving you my summary of this article, my opinion. But we, in the past, would read I would read entire articles. But the link for this article, because he is a crafty writer. We like his writing style.
I do, especially. Yeah. I like his he
hammers it in.
He's got some balls. I love it.
Yeah. Good perspectives.
Yes.
So this article is written as an opinion piece, but it makes some interesting arguments about the 8 decades long war on cannabis. The author speaks from the perspective of someone who lived through Prohibition, remembering a time when people could lose their jobs, their freedom, or even their custody of their children for simply possessing cannabis. The main point made is that Prohibition never eliminated cannabis. It only created criminal markets and punished otherwise law-abiding people. The article also argues that today's cannabis movement is much different than it was decades ago. Instead of cannabis being a small counterculture, it's now made up of patients, veterans, business owners, scientists, and millions of voters who support reform. The author believes that any attempt to return to strict prohibition would face much stronger resistance because legalization has become part of mainstream society in many places. One point I appreciate is that the author acknowledges cannabis isn't risk-free. Instead of arguing for a free-for-all, they advocate for education, sensible regulation, consumer protections, and harm reduction rather than criminalization. Whether you agree with every opinion in the piece or not, it raises a broader question about whether decades of prohibition actually achieved the intended goals or simply created new problems. It serves as a reminder that the cannabis conversation has to evolve from should it exist to what's the best way to regulate it. Because that's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's it.
That's it?
That's all.
Well, you need to read his...
read his piece.
Yeah,
there will
really
be
good.
a link in the like the show details.
Yep. And the references and stuff. So, international news. Ghana's government is weighing approval of industrial hemp production as officials explore its potential to create jobs, boost agriculture, and attract new investments. Supporters say hemp could diversify the country's economy while supplying raw materials for textiles, construction, and other industries. 6 Nations elected council has voted to repeal its cannabis control law, removing the existing regulatory framework, while leaders consider new approaches to cannabis governance. Yuki, what the heck are you doing over there, boy? She just plopped on the floor. The move reflects ongoing discussions about local authority, economic development, and how cannabis should be managed within the community. Sometimes you've got to clear the garden before planting something better. Nambia's High Court has rejected an effort to legalize cannabis, ruling against advocates seeking broader legal recognition. While supporters express disappointment, they say the decision won't end the push for future cannabis reform through legislative and public advocacy efforts. Kenya's High Court, this is terrible, and I love you, Kenya. High Court has rejected a Rastafari group's request for religious exemptions allowing cannabis use, ruling the current drug laws remain in effect. Advocates say the decision is disappointing, while supporters of reform plan to continue pressing for recognition of religious rights. Ugh, come on. Industry leaders in Canada say high federal and provincial cannabis taxes are making it harder for legal businesses to compete with a illicit market. Critics argue excessive taxation discourages consumers from buying regulated products and slows the long-term growth of the legal industry. Here's another one for the Rastafarians out there getting just hosed all over the place. Barbados High Court dismissed a constitutional challenge from Rastafari advocates seeking broader protections for cannabis use as part of their religious beliefs. While the case was unsuccessful, supporters say they will continue advocating for legal reforms that recognize religious and cultural practices. Germany is ending reimbursement for most medical cannabis flower prescriptions under its public health insurance systems, shifting coverage toward more limited circumstances. Patients and advocates worry that change could increase out-of-pocket cost and reduce access for those who rely on medical cannabis treatments. And that is international news, everybody. Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman.
Will you pass that joint over to me?
Of course.
Thanks. I'm looking to smoke this J while you tell us why moms, right, out there are stopping apologizing for being a cannabis mom.
Yep.
Tell us about it, Mr. Weedman.
This article is a personal story, but I think it speaks to a much bigger issue, the stigma that still surrounds moms who choose to use cannabis responsibly. The author talks about years of feeling like she had to hide that part of her life because society often treated moms who use cannabis very differently than ones who enjoy a glass of wine after a long day. She explains that cannabis isn't about escaping her responsibilities. Instead, she uses it to help manage pain, stress, and the everyday demands of balancing work, family, and motherhood. Her message is that responsible cannabis use doesn't automatically make someone a bad parent, and that good parenting should be judged by how you care for your children, not by outdated stereotypes about the plant.
Yeah.
What I took away from this article is that the conversation around cannabis is continuing to evolve. More parents are speaking openly about responsible adult use while emphasizing safe storage, keeping cannabis away from the children, and not consuming it in situations where it could affect their ability to parent. Whether people agree or because that's how everybody parents regarding alcohol, right? Okay. Every Friday, it's like, okay. Whether people agree or disagree, stories like this are helping challenge old assumptions and encouraging more honest conversations about cannabis, parenting, and the double standard that still exists. And that's why I didn't really consume hardly, like if we were out socially together, I would consume when the kids were young. But if you were at work, I wasn't consuming at home because if something happened, then, I'm just the stoner mom and it's, my fault.
Right.
So, people just that's how it was. But all the other moms could say, oh my God, I can't wait to go have a glass of wine. And that could be, before dinner every day.
Yeah.
And
not
that's
just
okay.
one glass.
And they're driving kids around and picking them up from practice.
Oh, yes.
It's all okay.
Yep.
But not this. Well, I think it is shifting because moms now, the younger generation of moms, have pretty much been parenting in a legal space.
Yep.
So the conversation in Illinois, anyway, I'm sure has changed in some areas, right? I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear now that like moms are taking microdosing mints with them to soccer
during
games,
the day, and
all passing the mints around,
and,
or going to parties now and they're not drinking, they're cannabis parties.
Yeah,
they're getting
cannabis mocktails.
And, stuff like that, and making it a little bit fun and a little bit different, and not feeling like shit the next day and having to deal with those fucking kids.
On a hangover.
Yeah, on a hangover. Oh,
no mercy there.
No, none. There's no mercy.
Deal with it.
Yep. You
both of it.
As Ma 420
kid and the hangover.
Yeah, as Ma 420 used to say to me all the time, and still does. You want to play, you're gonna pay. And she was damn right. Oh, well, Mr. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say before we go?
Have a great week, everybody. It's kind of quiet right now. Soccer just ended.
Yeah, Spain.
Go Spain.
Spain taking it this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, have a great week, everybody. Go get high, would you?
Have some fun, right? Hey, everybody out there, we love you. Go live some life. Go enjoy it. If you have nice weather right now, like today was the first time in Illinois that we didn't have a heat wave.
It was beautiful.
It was 80 degrees today. Slight breeze coming out of the west.
Dry air.
Dry as dry can be. And it's
nice.
It's gonna be like this for the rest of until Sunday, then it's gonna get back to the heat dome again. But we got a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of break. It's been kind of nice. Today I woke up not sweating. It was great. And yeah, it's just go enjoy, have some fun, and just fuck it all. Just fuck it all.
Fuck it all.
Fuck it all. You know? Just get up and say, you know what? Today.
Fuck it.
It's Friday's.
Fuck it.
Friday's coming up soon, everybody. Right? We launched this show on Thursday. Friday's coming up. Why don't you go out there and just have a fuck off Friday? Just go fuck off.
Call in sick.
Call in sick and
go
just
enjoy
go
the
fuck
day.
off. Or take a half a day.
Get in the car. Roll down the windows and
Yeah.
just take a drive.
Just say fuck off Friday, everybody, and go have some fun.
Go down a road you
life.
never went down before.
And I've been reading a lot lately just about like the one thing probably the most important thing in all of our lives is time.
Mm-hmm.
Health being number 2. Time goes by so quick. And if you just
the older you get, the faster it goes.
We were talking to a couple of retired folk. We went to a wedding on Friday last week, and we were talking to a couple of people that were in their early 60s, just retired. And I'm like, how's retirement treating you? I love it. That's what I heard from both of them. I love it. It is amazing. I don't have to get up for anybody. I don't get up to an alarm clock anymore. I get up when I want. I eat what I want. I do what I want. And I go to bed when I want. And I'm just like, I'm so I want to just say fuck you, basically.
In the nicest way.
Yes, in the nicest way.
Like I wish I could be you.
I just said to him, I'm proud of you. Because you get to go roll over instead of roll out. Is one day I wish to happen, But seeing a lot of these folks our age that are a little older than us now that we've known are retiring, and you just hear it, it's just like, it's wonderful. Because people always say, what are you going to do when you retire? You're just going to play golf every day and do nothing? Be like, yeah. Yeah. And it won't get boring. Because people are like, oh, you get bored when you retire. You don't know what to do with yourself. Motherfucker, yes, I do. You ain't going to be going to work.
Sleep when I want to sleep.
Yes.
Play when I want to play. Travel when I want to travel.
Yeah, get stuck in traffic like all of us knuckleheads now, driving through Chicago at rush hour. Oh, bleh. I cannot wait till that day comes, and I don't have to get up for anybody anymore except for me, Inc., and Mrs. Weedman. So, but yeah, go out there and just say, this week, I'm going to have a fuck off Friday and go enjoy some life and have some fun. Because you want to know why, everybody? Life's too damn short to give a damn. I love you out there. As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.